What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Aces High podcast. We're your hosts, Miriah and Ty. Ty, happy Monday. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Monday to you. How you feeling today?
Feeling okay. Trucking right
Right.
along, you know how we do.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, what's up? Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing great. The two usual first suspects in the door, Throwback and Don. Appreciate you
What's
both
up?
as usual. Um, and I just want to say, anybody that does tune into this show, even though like we just made it through the whole WNBA season, it is pretty much a new show still. And so we're still trying to, get it going. So we do appreciate everybody that does tune in. I'm sure there's other WNBA shows y'all could be listening to, but you guys choose to come here each week. So we do appreciate it. Even if you guys aren't in the chat, like it doesn't matter. Like I see, that there are at least people viewing the stream, so it is appreciated. Makes me,
Exactly.
I could just sit up here and talk to Ty, for an hour, just the two of us. It don't matter to me. That is my homie, so I still would talk sports with him regardless, if there is nobody watching or not. But it is nice to know that there is at least, a few of you guys out there watching, so it's appreciated. So finally, the draft order, the big draft suspense, it's done like, it's not like, what we're used to in the NFL. It's done differently. It's like a draft lottery they set up. So, this whole time we haven't known, who was going to get the first pick. Obviously, a lot of suspense leading up to this because Paige Bueckers is coming out. Well, she is supposed to. We'll see. Maybe she pulls a alley-oop and decides to take her last year of eligibility she has left and
Right.
stay in. She's like, hell no, I don't want to go there. But, she is supposed to come out. So, it was a lot of excitement leading up who was going to get that number one spot and the opportunity to be able to draft her, right? But, even the other spots, there's a lot of talent still left, to come out in the draft too. So we finally got the draft order. The first one's up until the Valkyries pick at 5, which kind of separates, right there. So we got Dallas picking number 1. We have LA picking number 2. We have Chicago picking number 3. The Washington Mystics picking number 4. So, your first thoughts when you see, that Dallas could be getting Paige, and then kind of where the other 3 fell behind.
Yeah. 4-team lottery. So anybody could have got the top spot. I don't think anyone predicted Dallas would get it because they were just so low, but they got it. That's what makes the lottery fun. You just never know, right?
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I know they're excited. That's a franchise who needs a nice young player to come in and supercharge them, help them rebuild and such. So it's fun to see. Sparks getting 2. I see that, and everyone else fell in line. That's basically what it is. So I know everyone's talking about Paige going 1, but I can see Dallas throwing a wrinkle in there and doing something different. And next thing you know, Paige is in LA. And that's what I know. That's what WNBA might want, like LA Paige, her in a big market. That'd be something.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to see what actually happens come draft time.
Yeah, I think, that was the big upset for, just WNBA fans, the fans of the sport overall, is that, like, really Paige and Dallas, like, out of all places. Although, like you said, Dallas needs all the help they can get. But, they do have a guard who tweeted out as soon as it was announced. Arike tweeted out and says, I just fell to my knees. Thank you, Lord. Once it was announced that Dallas got the number 1 pick. But like even if they do choose to keep Paige, like I could see it working with the two of them there together. Like we said, they do need all the help they can get, so any talent is better than no talent. And then but that was like the big upset, is that a lot of fans wanted to see Paige in LA. So when LA didn't get that, it was just like, man, like I don't know. I did pull up, of course, once it got announced, the spots, all these different mock drafts started coming up. So I just grabbed the first one that I came across, just so we could kind of talk about, what they're saying. So they did obviously, put Paige going at number 1. And then they have Kiki, the forward out of USC, going number 2 to the Sparks. It says tough break for the Sparks, who had 44% chance at winning the lottery. Man, that sucks. 44% chance and you don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Ouch. So it says, but we'll have to settle for the number 2 pick for the second consecutive year. The silver lining is they can select Kiki, who transferred to USC this season, to team up with Juju, and is the best front court players in the class. It says she spent 3 seasons playing with Cameron Brink at Stanford. Oh, okay. So that would team them back up together. Okay. And we know they play well together. Between Kiki Brink and Rakia Jackson, the Sparks would have an extremely versatile front court. I like that. Okay, so I didn't know that. Like I was, I'm not too much into the college game.
Right. Oh, and there goes Miriah. I'm sure she'll jump right back in. But yes, Kiki played with Cam at Stanford. She's at USC this year playing with Juju. She'll be out. And she's back. See, told you she'd be right back.
It's extra out of everything. Trying to get into college, hoops. I just started watching once, the whole attraction with, CC and all that is an Angel, that whole back and forth is what brought me to actually watch college. And then now, dang, why wasn't I watching this the whole time? Like it's basketball. So yeah, that would be pretty awesome for them to team back up. Like they were great. They played well together when they were in college.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Stanford was a powerhouse. Yeah,
that would be awesome. Okay, and then it has number 3. It has Chicago Sky taking Olivia Miles, guard out of Notre Dame. It says Miles is shooting the ball well early this season, but she has been poor from behind the arc throughout her career, which is a concern for a Sky team that desperately needs spacing. However, she's so good everywhere else that it's hard to pass on her here, especially when the Sky need a guard. Miles has been at her dynamic best since returning from an ACL tear that cost her all of last season, and her elite playmaking would be a breath of fresh air for Angel and Camilla. Thoughts on them taking Olivia at number 3?
Yeah, Olivia Miles is the truth. Okay, she is legit. Yeah, her 3-point shooting. Yeah, her 3-point shooting isn't spectacular, but she can hit threes. But everywhere else on the floor, she's dope. She can ball. So them taking her, I can see it happening. She can set things up. It's her playmaking, right? She can facilitate. That's what I'm trying to say. Not only can she go out and get buckets, but she can facilitate for others very well. So that would be good for setting up Angel, Camilla, and Kennedy Carter should she be brought back, right? That's what you need. That's what that team needs. So I got no problem with it. I think that would be a great draft pick. I've already put out on Twitter, wouldn't shock me if Dallas took her first overall and teamed her up with Enrique, because there's something about those Notre Dame guards. They just know how to play together. No matter what the generation, what the class is, they just know how to play together. So, yeah, that'd be a great pick.
Nice. Well, speaking of Notre Dame guards, we got another one going number 4 to the Washington Mystics in Sonia Citron. It says the Mystics currently do not have a coach or general manager, still like crazy.
Get it together.
It says, so we're going to some real guesswork here, but Citron is a player, hopefully that's how you say her name, is a player who can fit in any system or situation. She has good size on the perimeter, can shoot the ball from behind the arc, and guards multiple positions. The Mystics need help on the wing, and Citron is very solid all-around player who should be able to help them there immediately. Thoughts on Citron going to Washington Mystics at 4?
Yeah, I like her. She's a big guard, 6'1", right? That's where league is going. A lot of these taller guards.
Okay.
So she can help them. Like I said, guard the 1s, 2s. She can even get in the post and guard some of those, guard forwards that they got out there. Very good from behind the arc. And like, that's why sometimes if you got a point guard that's just a good facilitator and another person who's a good 3-point shooter, it works. Like, set her up to hit threes. So that's where she could come in. But I think it'd be good because if you team her up, the people forget the Washington's record, we know, was bad last year, but they filled with tons of injuries. If you get Brittany Sykes back and Shakira Austin back to go with a young Aaliyah Edwards and like Ariel Atkins, if she can facilitate for them and set them up, they could be a problem. And speaking of 3-point shooting, remember Big Mama Steph is there.
Big Mama.
And we know she can hit some threes. So imagine setting her up to hit even more threes. So yeah, I can see them making that pick. It makes sense. And I think it'd be a good pick for them.
All right. So one more we're going to talk about just because, the new team at Golden State Valkyries, pick number 5. They have them selecting Dominique Malonga, center out of France.
France.
I don't know if that's how you say it, but
national team.
It says the expansion Valkyries do not have any players on their roster yet, and it's unclear what they'll prioritize. What they'll prioritize in the draft. Will they want a big college name who can contribute right away and help put them on the map, or will they target long-term upside, knowing that this will be a multi-year project? If it's the latter, Malonga could be the pick. The 19-year-old French woman may not come over to the W right away, but her combination of size and oh my God, I can't freaking say that word. Being athletic is rare.
Athleticism.
Yes. And she has tremendous potential. So, and they're saying, especially on the defensive end. So that's interesting. And we do not know how they'll end up picking, but what would you think about that? Or who would you like to see them select?
It's hard for them because we don't know what they're going to do in the expansion draft. Right? And what hole will need to be filled? Like what's a position of need based on the expansion draft? So it's real hard. I can see what they're saying there. Like, I remember her from the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because she played for France, and I watched France closely because of Gabby Williams and Marine Johannes. Shout out to Marine Johannes. French Curry. She can shoot some threes, but I remember her. She was the tall, lanky 6'6" center who was mad young. That they were saying was the future of the team, and she has upside. Like, she was big out there, just her presence in the middle. And I remember her guarding like Asia and Stewie. Like, she stood toe to toe with them. Right? Couldn't handle them much because they're in a different class. Right? She's so young, but she moved well and didn't look out of place. So I can see why they're saying, oh, she might not come right away. Maybe she needs a season or two to develop and then come over. That happens a lot with international players. But it's hard to say what the Valkyrie are going to do.
Yeah.
We really got to wait till that expansion draft next month. It's next
So,
month, right?
yeah. How does that work then with, like you said, she might have to stay over there for a couple years. So she just stays over there. Like, don't, anybody that gets drafted from another country, because, for example, they have a player going number 6 to the Washington Mystics are up again. They have a forward out of Slovenia getting drafted. So, and she's only 18 years old. And so what, they just stay over there, like the NBA team that drafts them like has their rights, and they just stay over there and play for their country until they're ready, or
exactly. That's exactly it. They're drafted and you have their rights as a player. So when they come over, they got to come play for you. Like, they can't be like, oh, I've been over here, but I want to go play for somebody else now. It doesn't work that way. Team you get drafted by has your rights.
So whenever they decide to ever come to the W, that's the team
they come over.
They up for them.
Exactly.
Interesting. You know what? Looking through this mock draft, something, and then we're going to get off of this, but that I hate seeing, especially knowing that the Aces have no first round draft pick again, is that the New York Liberty, who just won the finals, pick number 7, because they had a pick swap or some shit with
Phoenix.
Somebody. Yeah. Like, so disgusting that they're that high in the freaking draft after just winning. And it has them selecting guard Pow out of South Carolina. Like, let me just throw up. Like, I would be disgusted. Like, oh my God. Like, can we not let them like keep just getting better, and the Aces like have no draft picks to get better?
Like, and that's some firepower right there. See, now if I'm Chicago, I'm thinking actually picking her up, because remember, Chicago's biggest weakness was they couldn't hit a 3 for nothing.
Yeah.
And she can hit 3s with the best of them. Like, she's a shooter. And, coming from South Carolina, Dawn Staley just spits them out. Like, that's just good stock. So,
I'm interested to see how she does this season.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But see if it raises, her draft
stuff.
Go
to Liberty. She can't go to Liberty now.
No.
They got enough. They already got Sabrina's hitting 3s. The other girl hitting 3s. Nah, this one, no.
And they have a whole bench, like,
exactly.
Like I hope the Valkyries pick them freaking to death. Like,
take all their players.
Like, we'll just skip taking from any other team and take them all from over here. All right. Let me change this little thingamajigger here. We're going to get into some drama that came out about Seattle Storm this week.
Oh, man.
Which is very interesting, because when the Gold Mamba has the season that she had this past season, it made you kind of wonder, like, was she hurt? Was she dealing with something off the court? Like, what's going on? Because she's better than this, right? Like,
wasn't her typical season.
Even when the Aces swept them in the playoffs, it was just like something just wasn't right. Like, it shouldn't have been that easy with the talent that they have. Like, that's a talented team, with them adding the talent that they did this offseason. And for them to just get swept by the Aces, who we saw weren't even that strong of a team themselves.
Right.
And they handled Seattle like it was freaking light work. Like, there was never a time that I thought, oh, we're in trouble, like, during that series. Like, never. So, it was very like, okay, something ain't right. But never did I expect, something like this to come out. We talked about Noelle Quinn on this show multiple times. She had up until this, from what we thought had been highly regarded as a head coach in the league.
Yeah.
Her what are those, like the interviews, the end of the season interviews that they do?
Oh, the exit interviews.
Yeah, the exit interview. Her exit interview was very strange because like she kept like talking about, like she made a statement and they're like asking her like, what do you mean? Are you not planning to be back? Or, whatever. And she's like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive, like pulled like a Kyle Shanahan type of thing. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be here. Like, if I'm going to even be here in this world, like if I'm going to be, like, and it's like, lady, like, what are you friggin' talking about? Like, very strange. And so now this story comes out. Let me kind of, walk you guys through what's going on here. So it says this Friday night, Annie of the Chicago Sun-Times reported that the Seattle Storm is being investigated for alleged player mistreatment by the coaching staff, led by head coach Noelle Quinn. A law firm hired by the team is looking into accusations of alleged harassment and bullying tied to on-court performances against the coaching staff during the 2024 season, a source said. In the aftermath of the story going online, it says, that they reached out to more sources, and this is what, the sources had reported. Earlier this year, Beta Basket reported that there was trouble on the horizon as conflicts between Jewell Loyd and head coach Noelle Quinn intensified to the point of impacting the team's performance on the court. The topic has also, been, then they plugged their podcast. Okay, so it's been, discussed there.
Yeah.
So it says below is a summary of what they heard from their sources regarding the investigation and the relationship within the team. 1, an EEOC complaint has been filed. The Seattle Storm is indeed working with the law firm, as reported by Annie, but there are no details about who is exactly representing the team. It says, according to 2 sources, an EEOC complaint was filed for bullying and harassment. One of them went as far saying that those were specific to Black players. Some of the discriminating actions that I was told include coaches yelling at and alienating certain members of the team by not drawing plays for them. I was told that players were subjected to retaliation if they passed the ball to someone that should not have been involved in the play. Number 2, no gold Mamba. At this point, one would not be completely out of line if they said Jewell Loyd's uneasiness with the changes of the Seattle Storm was a key contributor to the latest developments. According to other 2 different sources, in completely different spectrums of the women's basketball industry, Loyd has been expressing her dissatisfaction with Noelle Quinn for 2 seasons now. The frustration, though, has not been limited to the head coach, as she displayed distrust on Storm general manager Talisha Ray. Is that her name? Talisha Ray. Decision-making abilities, culminating with the hiring of now associate general manager Pokey Chapman. It is worth noting that earlier this season, Jewell Loyd made a point to assert in press conferences that the reason Seattle was able to assemble a contending team by bringing Nneka and Skylar during free agency was due to Chapman's bigger role in the front office. Things seemed to take a turn once once Skylar and Nneka started having a more impactful role, outshining Lloyd. See, so I was wondering too, once they signed them, like how that was going to work when you have all these big names now coming into a team that's supposed to be Jewel Lloyd's team.
Yeah.
And you're bringing two strong big names into there that have had their own teams. They've been the leader of their teams before. And now you're trying to bring them into a team to where they're supposed to play backseat to Jewel Lloyd or Jewel Lloyd all of a sudden was supposed to just back down and give up her team, So as soon as they it was so great. Like, okay, you bringing all this talent in there. They should be great. But then at the same time, you're thinking, but how are they all going to mesh together in such a short amount of time? It was always the question. So very interesting that now this is all coming out. All right. So I know this is kind of, lengthy, but I want to just make sure that we're all up to date on what's going on, because this is some very serious shit. And, the aces get punished for even having bad breath. So, this is something they better make sure they handle this situation right.
Yep.
Or else you guys are never going to hear the end of it. Okay. All right. So yeah, things seem to take a turn for the worst when they started outshining Lloyd, who was a record-setting scorer the previous season. Then it talks about how Jewel Lloyd's scoring dipped significantly, has all her numbers and all their numbers.
Yeah.
All right. So it says, number 3, no plan B nor C. Another source told me that Force 10 Hoops, the Storm ownership group, was caught off guard by the departure of Brianna Stewart, and that up until January 31st, 2023, there was confidence among them that the now 3-time WNBA champion would stay and continue the legacy left by Sue Bird, who retired in 2022. Mm-hmm. Instead, on the first day of free agency, Stewart announced she was moving on to the New York Liberty. So this goes all the way back. Interesting.
Way back, I know, right?
So it says, the lack of planning put Jewel Lloyd in a complicated position, as now she was expected to take the helm as team leader, despite not having much time to mentally prepare for the role. On top of that, the Storm had an unimpressive free agency, not finding help for Lloyd on either side of the court, especially after Gabby Williams suffered a foot injury. That is true. Like, once Brianna Stewart said she was leaving, it was like just Jewel Lloyd and
people. It was G Lloyd and plus 4.
Left to do everything. Like, all right. So number 4, she said. On one side, sources close to Jewel Lloyd alleged that Noelle Quinn bullied her and any player who would not follow strict tactical rules. The poor guard performance during the 2024 Olympics was also said to be a result of biased coaching by Cheryl Reeve, which we've been wondering, like, what the hell happened at the Olympics? Like, because we know for a fact, like we talked about, Jackie came back and was a completely different person. Clea
Koppel was different.
Yeah, completely different. We're talking about having MVP caliber starts to the season. They go to Olympics and people are wanting to kick them off the freaking team. Like, once they got back, like, went ghost, both of them. Like, people are making up all these injuries for Jackie. Like, we still, still don't know if she was hurt or what was going on. Like,
exactly.
People are pulling shit out of their asses. Like, what is going on? And now they're talking about, now there was some crazy treatment going on, so man, like, this is going way, way deep. So it says, on the other side, sources are surprised that such accusations have been pointed towards I can't speak today. Have been pointed towards Quinn, who is known for her calm and poised demeanor and a player-first approach to coaching. which is why I was so surprised by this. I told you guys before I started this, because we've talked about, like we thought she was a great coach. Like that's what everybody had set up until this point, and like she gets up there and just like I'll do whatever I want, whatever I can for these girls. Like
she's so soft spoken and everything, right?
Those are her babies, crazy. So on both sides, there are strong accusations of mismanagement by the ownership group and the general manager. Neither Noelle Quinn nor Jewel Lloyd feel heard or supported by the owners, even if for different reasons, as decisions made in 2023 continue having a negative impact not only on the team's record, but also on morale. Publicly, players such as Skylar Diggins-Smith and Gabby Williams have called out the lack of grit from the team. In this league, if you are not ready to play, you will be beat every fucking night, famously said by Diggins-Smith following a heartbreaker 74-72 loss to the Washington Mystics. Williams expressed similar concerns. And during the playoffs, it sure didn't look like they had any freaking grit. It looked like they went out there and laid down, like that there was nothing left worth fighting for. Like, I don't even know why they brought What's-Her-Face back from her injury, because they just risked injuring her worse for a team that had already given up. Like, her and Gabby were the only two that had just came back to the court. So they were the only two balling, like that, gave a shit.
They were in and out.
Yeah.
Seattle was in the playoffs, just in and out.
So it says, head coach Noelle Quinn agreed with Skylar, adding that desire to win is not something that she can create within players. It needs to come from within, she said. In another press conference, Nneka said positively that Quinn was gangster, in quotes. When asked if she would describe herself as such, the head coach response was very straightforward. Sure would describe myself as gangster, straight up. When I say gangster, it's not in a negative gang. It's in a mindset. I don't play, she explained. To take care of your business, to be a leader of an organization, to try to get these women to play their best basketball, and aside that, be the best individuals that they can be, that's gangster. Don't say nothing wrong. The energy you give me, I'm going to give it right back. If you need some backup in the alley, I got you. But if you need me to pray for you, I got you too. So that's gangster to me. That's what I embody, she finished. So yeah. Crazy that, like I said, that this involves, out of all coaches, Noelle Quinn. Is she black or is she not?
She's black. Yeah.
So when Nneka and Skylar signed there, they had both talked about one of the reasons they went there was because the women that led that organization specifically talked about Noelle and her being black. And now we're hearing that she is against the black players specifically. So
wild.
And then you're involving now the head coach from the Olympics, Cheryl Reeve.
Which is the really wild part. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just doesn't even just stop with the Seattle Storm. Like, do we know that Cheryl Reeve and Noelle Quinn have a relationship? Like,
I know, right? Like, are they BFFs on the low we don't know about? Like, I don't know.
Because like, would Noelle picked up the phone, was like, hey, Cheryl, make sure that you don't give.
Don't give her too much run. Not a lot of playing time.
Bring her off the bench. Make sure she's not in the starting five. Give her only, because I swear there was games that she had like hardly any minutes. Like zero freaking minutes.
We talked about it.
And we're wondering like how the hell Out of
The
all
three
players, is
guards, the
she?
three guards we talked about wasn't getting a lot of playing time, and we were like, "Where's Jewel? Where's Jackie? Where's Clea? What's going on?" It's crazy. Like
They
it's
were
funny. We
ghosts in the
talked, and
Olympics and were ghosts ever since. Like,
yeah, we talked about like we thought this would be the crazy off season for the Aces, and now here this comes, and it's like, whoa, what is going on? So much to unravel and unpack. It's wild. And in like we talked about Noelle Quinn, she's so soft spoken and laid back, and all her interviews, she was like, "Yeah, we just gotta come out here, execute, play better defense," and then and to hear her like getting gritty and yelling at players, it's like, what?
and she's gangster.
Her? She gangsta? Exactly. Like her? We talking about the same person? It's crazy, but you never know what goes on behind closed doors, right? It's wild. All this stuff is just wild. So, oh, man, you felt
Yeah.
something was a little off from Seattle, even though
Yeah.
they had a good season and such. It's like with all that star power and stuff, something was a little bit off, and Jewel was definitely off. Man,
Like they even had to bring Gabby Williams back to even make it to get swept in the playoffs. Like,
well, Gabby was hot from the Olympics. Gabby was hot. Everybody wanted a piece of Gabby, so they definitely wanted her back to put some juice in there and bring the fans out and all that good stuff. So, but man, to hear all this was going on throughout the season and such, that's just crazy. Crazy.
And like you want to say like, oh, like like I would never that can't be true. Like Noelle Quinn couldn't do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like she, like we said, like she seriously reminds me, for those that don't know, when she's coaching. Now, take in mind, this is during a game. She reminds me, if you were just to see her, just on the side of the court, you would think that the Sunday school teacher had got lost and found her way to the side of the basketball court. Like, she looks like she should be teaching Sunday school. Like the way she dresses, the way she talks, the way she sounds, the way she
that's a great analogy.
So like you would want to say like you can't expect this, but then all the factors point to yes, like something did happen, because Jewel Lloyd didn't just wake up and start playing like ass. Like something did happen with Cheryl Reeve, because these girls didn't just come back from the Olympics and forget how to play basketball. Like, man, oh man, oh man. Let me see real quick if there has been, because this was at the beginning of after last week's show. So let me see if this person had put out like a little update thing, because like now what happens now, like it goes to court.
I guess they gotta go to court.
I mean,
they got lawyers and such. There's lawsuits pending. Like it's craziness.
Because when the tweet, that came out with the article and everything attached to it, even though the article only keeps bringing up Jewel Lloyd, it says sources close to Jewel Lloyd say she and other players were bullied.
It's not just her.
By Noelle Quinn for not following tactical instructions. The source also attributes Lloyd's lackluster performance at the 2024 Olympics to biased coaching from Cheryl Reeve. So who are the other players?
Exactly. Like some names are going to come out soon, especially if they do file like the lawsuit in court. Like those names have to be revealed. So
because that's one of the teams that I watched all their press conferences at the end of the season. and they're like, Gabby was going on and on about all different shit,
all kinds of stuff. She
like,
ain't hold back.
Like, so there was a lot going on there.
Yeah,
and it's just like, so
exactly.
You know, they were asking Nneka, Nneka, she's the one that's now a free agent. So they're asking her, you know, well, is this a team that you're considering coming back to? And she didn't. Like, I was expecting, you know, like, oh yeah, we had started, you know, we're on the up track, let me come back, you know, yada yada. Right. No, it was not like that. It was like, well, I need to see what else everybody has to offer, what's going on, what's going to be best for me. Like, it didn't seem to me like she was coming back.
Yeah, like she was gung-ho.
And that was before I knew any of this.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if she's one of them, because she's black, you know, so I'm just, you know, trying to connect dots here. But she also is part of the WNBA Association, Players Association. Yeah, so like she's Madam
President.
Like, if anybody can make moves like against teams, she's not going to be the one you wanted to be pissing off. Like, so
right.
Like, if Noelle Quinn is bullying people, like you wouldn't want to be bullying her, like, if you were smart, you know?
Exactly.
And then I keep coming back to just like Noelle Quinn, like, there was no reason to think she wouldn't be coming back this season as a head coach.
Right.
And she still hasn't been fired or anything.
No.
Right. So
no.
And yet, like, the main topic during her exit interviews was about whether she was going to be alive, and she needed to
the way
enjoy life to the fullest. And like, I didn't know if she was going to announce soon that she was sick, you know, like, knock on wood, God forbid.
Yeah,
but
know,
that's
right?
like, by the way she was talking, like, as if she already knew she had 2 years left to live or something, you know, like, it was just very odd, like, for a head coach to be. It's not like you were the worst head coach in the league. Like, your team just won one game of the season and you're sitting up there like your world's crumbling down, you know? That's how she was acting. It was just very strange. So all signs would point to something's definitely going on there. Something's not right in Seattle.
Yeah.
Let me see. So just 4 hours ago, something about Jewell Loyd was released from her agent. So I guess there were reports of Jewell Loyd missing out on a Nike bonus.
I saw that. Yeah.
Loyd reportedly needed to average 20 points per game this season to trigger a bonus in her Nike contract.
Yep.
And so Jewell Loyd's agent, Jade Lee English, says, so she responded to that report about the bonus and said, I'm not going to comment on everything you have posted, but you are posting lies. This is not journalism. And the girl who posted it, the lady who posted it, says, I invite you to take a deep look into it. People from Jewel's inner circle are saying that blaming Noelle on Jewell not meeting the bonus benchmark, that is important context for a situation. I understand that this is something frustrating to read, but don't attack my work for that. Jade then responds back and says, I'm not going back and forth with you, and this will be my last comment. I think as someone who actually negotiated the contract can tell you and confirm that this statement is false, and whoever you're talking to doesn't have the right information. So Jewell Loyd, a lot going on with Jewell Loyd.
Craziness.
And just for context, Jewell Loyd fell 0.3 points short, finishing with 19.7 points per game. So if that's true, that's disgusting. that you miss it by less than a friggin' point.
I know. I mean, like if you get like just 4 more buckets in a game, you got it. It gets crazy. Oh man.
Wow. So we're definitely going to keep up, and when more comes out about it, we'll definitely talk about it, because this seems like it's a lot deeper than what has even this isn't even scratching the surface of what's going on, I fear. So
exactly,
we'll definitely keep up with that. All right, next thing we're going to talk about before we get out of here, right after our show last week where we talked about Unrivaled and made fun of them for not having coaches yet and
I know, right?
all that fun stuff, they announced their coaches.
Yep.
So, and they have signed additional players as well. So let me pull this up real quick. Hopefully, it lets me. I'm working. Hopefully soon we'll get a new working situation here, and I can start sharing. I would like to be able to share videos and all this stuff with you guys and run a normal program here. But unfortunately, my computer don't like to work with me in that. So hopefully I get a new one soon. And then I'm going to be sharing everything. You guys are going to have to freaking look at all kinds of shit. I'm going to be sharing just to share. All right. So let me see. Where do they have the coaches? They have like all brought up the players. Well, let's go with that first, since, they don't care.
If it's there, pull it up. Yeah.
With you guys. All right. So we talked about whether there would be another rookie added. Who else was going to be added? So the last time, where did we have left off? Here?
Yeah.
At Aaliyah? All right.
Yeah.
So since we've had Alyssa Thomas added, Big Mama added, Ray, who's this? Oh,
Ray Burrell.
Ray Burrell.
The Sparks.
The Sparks, right? She was a rookie or not?
No, it's her second year.
No. Okay, so nope. And then we got Jordan Canada. So still no rookie. We got 2 spots left here. They've been announcing. They announced AT and Big Mama together, and they announced Ray and Jordan together. So hopefully, for sure, we should know these 2 by the next time we talk to you guys.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I don't see why not. All right. So let me stop sharing this, since they don't want to give us the damn info that we need. Let me just pull it up over here. Like, you would think that would be like one of the first things when you pull up their website. Like, you just announced your coaches. Like,
well, it should be there underneath the players. Like,
yeah, very weird. All right, but don't worry, I have it here. So 6 coaches announced. 1 who we've talked about on this show multiple times and have been wondering if she would end up in another head coaching job in the W, or maybe on the Aces as an assistant. However, for now, she is a head coach for Unrivaled, and that is T Spoon. And then we have Phil Handy, we have Adam Harrington, we have Nola Henry, DJ Sackman, and Andrew Wade. So 2 ladies, 4 gentlemen. I don't really know. I mean, Phil Handy, that's the name that sounds familiar. But other than that, besides Teaspoon, like, I don't know much about any of these other people.
Nope. Me either. Like, I know Teresa Weatherspoon is a big draw. That was a big get. She'll bring some fun and excitement to the game. So that'll be good. And on the player side, Big Mama Steph, she's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to have a 3-on-3 league was a little bit more closer, a little bit more intimate, the smaller courts and stuff, you can get closer to the players a bit. I think having her was a good selection because she's just fun to have out there.
Yeah, I agree. I was excited when I saw
Mm-hmm.
them announce her. And then
Yeah.
under the post, just so we're not alone when it comes to these coaches. So a lot of the comments, there's 212 comments under the post. A lot of them are teaspoon, 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 teaspoon. And then there's like a couple Phil Handy. And then there's a bunch yelling because there's only 2 women coaches.
Yeah.
And nobody else knows who the rest are. So, we're not alone there.
No.
I did see, and I wanted to go over this last time, so let me find the post real quick. It kind of explained how they were going to do the remember we talked about like we didn't know how they were going to select their teams, and all that. I thought they had made a post like again after our show last week. Like, are you guys watching our show? Because everything we talked about bitching about, like I swear they came out with.
I know they came out and did it like, just to shut us up.
Yeah, 4 days ago they posted, the club selection process will drop on November 20th, but how will it work? And they put together a little video about it. And then 3 days ago is when they announced the coaches. So they were watching. That's it. So yeah, so they didn't tell us really yet the process, but they did make this little video. I remember I saw something about it. So what it seems like is there's going to be what they call pods. There's A, B, C, D, E, and F pod. And it seems like maybe, so then it has the pods, and there's like 1, 2, 5, 6 players in each pod. So I'm guessing each team can select 1 player from each letter pod. You see what I'm saying? So the laces, they'll be able to select 1 player from A, 1 player from B, 1 player from C, 1 player from D to make up their team.
Gotcha.
So the order and stuff, we still don't know like how that's going to select. But so I'm wondering maybe if 1 pod's going to be like the rookies, or maybe it goes by skill level, or maybe by position. Exactly. Like who knows what order, like how they're going to do the pods. But for now, like that's what we know. And then obviously each, team, I don't know how it decides their coaches either, but we shall find out.
We shall see. I'm sure they'll announce
2 days. November 20th, it says. We'll get to find out. So
there you go.
Next week's show, we'll know all about it, and we'll talk all about it. Rob D, what's up? Says Miriah better try and stay off the naughty list now that she told everyone what she wants for Christmas. I don't know about that, Rob. According to them around here, I'm always, on the naughty list. So, I don't know how well that's going to work out, but hopefully I can just hope and pray that regardless of my behavior, I will still, they'll still feel bad enough to give me a gift. That's what we can hope for. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Nah. Just glad we got the draft order selected. That's exciting, and just looking forward to some good NCAA basketball coming up.
Yep. I'm going to be in it this season, so since I don't really have a team, I liked LSU before, but I mean, I don't know if they're going to be that exciting anymore. We'll see. And then obviously,
Flau'jae Johnson has been
that's
going
true.
off
Yeah.
this season. Ooh,
And then
Lord.
South Carolina, obviously,
Yeah.
can't help but root for them. And got to keep an eye on Stanford and them over there. USC, we got Juju. We got to keep an eye on her because in a couple of years we're going to be seeing what team's going to be excited to get that number 1 pick again.
I'm telling
when
you,
she comes out.
we already talked about it months back. Like that draft class, her, Hannah, being Williams from Arizona, like so many players. That draft class is going to be crazy. Oh my gosh, it's going to be unreal.
The Aces, they need to get their shit together. Like, I don't even know why. Did we find
or
out?
Else they gonna be getting that first round pick. Like,
I didn't even know that they lost the first round pick for this friggin' season.
I didn't know either until that list came out, and I'm like, wait, hold up, what the heck happened?
So, what is this for now? Like, it didn't have even a reason or anything. Like, did they get results back from that 100,000 investigation? Like, we never heard anything else about that. Like, all of a sudden the team just started posting that shit, like tagging the city of Las Vegas. So I figured everything was good, because they started, every time they would travel, like post the city of Las Vegas, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard. It's been quiet as could be about that. So you'd think something would have came out about it. Nothing. So it's like, was that the result of that? Who fucking knows? Like, oh my God. Like, can we stay out of trouble? Hopefully now with that freaking bitch out of there, that GM, we can stay out of trouble.
Right? Things
like
be smooth sailing.
Like, geez, like, thank you for helping, lead this team to some championships, but at what cost? Like, holy shit. Like, you destroyed our team for the next how many fucking years? Bitch. By doing nothing but sitting up there eating bonbons.
Yep.
Doing all the bad shit. Like, fuck. Yeah, we'll see. Chicago Sky. I'm interested to see what our guy Ty does over there. He tweeted, Angel Reese, we talked about, so remember I talked about real quick before we get out of here, last week's show, I brought up how after the Chicago Sky fired Teaspoon, it's kind of been like Angel Reese was having like a tiff with them. Like, she hadn't been at no Chicago Sky activities. Nothing to do with Chicago Sky until they hired Tyler. And then she tweeted about it, was all been excited since, and then was at the draft lottery last night representing the Sky.
Representing them.
Like, full face and center there all of a sudden. Like, yeah, she was definitely feeling some type of way about that head coach firing.
A couple of players they were unhappy, but they made a smart hire in Tyler, got people back on board. Like, okay, all right. But some time went by. Some heels were probably wounded. What's the word? What's the phrase? Wounds were healed with time. There we go. Jeez. Now I can't talk. Getting late. Yep, exactly. We need to get out of here. But yeah, she's back on board. So it was good to see her out there representing the Sky.
Yep. All right. Appreciate you all you guys. Tune in. I know I can see that, there's some people watching from Twitter too. There's like 60 of y'all watching. So I appreciate you all.
Sweet.
Rob, Don, Throwback, a couple of you guys are in chat. We appreciate you guys for holding it down. John, tell the girls hello. Much love to you, to your family, as always. Me and Ty will be back tomorrow to talk. I can't wait. I almost was thinking about switching the days of the shows because sometimes I just need to talk 49ers first because they have pissed me off, and it's never because I'm so excited to talk about them.
Right.
It's because they have pissed me off so bad that I can't wait to freaking be able to yell and get it out of my system, because I don't do, at least last season I did instant reaction shows, so I got to get it all out of my system and then have
right away.
normal shows, you know. Now I just hold it all in and it just eats away until Tuesdays now. So and that's why then I just have to start screaming on Tuesdays, and people are,
there you go,
you know, feeling upset about it. But me and Throwback decided today we don't give a shit if people are mad at us for not having faith anymore, because the players aren't giving us anything to be faithful for. Like, they've been assholes. So we're going to talk all about it. I can't wait. So we'll be back tomorrow, 3 Pacific time. And every Monday we're here to talk WNBA, women's basketball, Unrivaled, anything to do with women's hoops. We're going to be talking it through WNBA off season. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to keep an eye. I keep forgetting when Sid starts in her league. What is it? Oh, I can't think of the name, but there's another, it's not like Unrivaled, but you know, it's another
Athletes
little
Unlimited.
Yeah, there you go. They should be starting, I think they start earlier than Unrivaled. So that should be starting here soon. So I have to be tuning into that. We'll keep up with that as well. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in. If you also, I'm putting this out there, if there's happens to be WNBA content creators that watch the show, and you interested in linking up, you know, doing a show together during the WNBA off season, we would love to, you know, get something, you know, have you guys a guest over here, or me and Ty be a guest on your channel, vice versa. Stream on, you know, we can stream on all 3 of our channels, you know, and do an episode. That would be awesome too. We're definitely interested in meeting other WNBA content creators, because I don't know if there's many of us, you know, so I'm definitely, you know, interested to know how many of us there are out there and get to know you guys. So if you happen to watch the show, definitely shoot me a DM on Twitter, on X, at Miriah49Lee, and let's definitely link up. And yeah, chat, appreciate you guys as always. We're out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love. Have a good night. Peace.